Sure. Well, there's very serious impacts that will happen to the Guam Fire Department and in reality to the island of Guam and the community we serve. Basically, we requested with the governor's request 34 million, and we were basically overall shorted by 1 million. When you what actually happened is they took away from our operational budget 2 million, and then returned. Correction, they took away from our operational budget about 2.5 million and returned from the tourist attraction fund 1.4 million, but mostly in our special funds. And what that really translates to in as far as operations is our ability to pay our personnel. We had intended to bring on 45 fire recruits by the end of this year, the second quarter of the fiscal year 18. But because of this, we're going to have to adjust and bring those guys later on in the year, somewhere around March. The catch-22 about that is we accounted for the reduction in overtime with the hiring of this new cycle. But now that we have to move this cycle towards the latter part of the year, we're going to end up paying the same amount of overtime that we're paying currently. And so while we thought we were going to save on overtime, we're just back to square one. And then further down the road, because we're bringing on these fire recruits later in the fiscal year, this could result in the shutting down of 1 to 2 fire stations in the last 5 months of fiscal year 2018. And that's what I mean by it'll impact the community. And the question is what fire stations do we shut down? What services do we stop or temporarily discontinue until they can resolve this budget shortfall with some infusion of some type. I'd like to also add that the 1.4 million that they're looking to give to us from the Tourist Attraction Fund concerns me, because the Tourist Attraction Fund is, yes, it does come from our number one economic driver for our economy, but considering the current times with North Korea threats and everything else, we've already seen a drop in tourism of about 10,000 that we lost in the last month. And so that kind of gives you an idea of our challenges going forward. And the question that I have is that 1.4 million, is it going to be available when it's time or when it's needed? So to entrust public safety on a fund that is not concrete, for lack of a better term, really concerns me, because we can't leave public safety to chance. So if Tourist Attraction Fund is to be used, it's my opinion that we could use it on lesser priorities, such as maybe capital improvement, or the purchase of a new apparatus to replace our aging fleet. But to use it for actual day-to-day operations, that's where my concern is. And so I think that we need to go back to the drawing board and work with the governor's office and find exactly where can we get these funds and see how we can get what the governor had requested, because I believe that's the appropriate request that we submitted. We were very conscious about our use of the people's money, and to ensure that we maintain, sustain, and maybe slightly improve our current services that we provide. And that was all accounted for in our budget requests.